Hi, my name is Diane Power. I'm a holistic practitioner and a therapist. But in spite of that, I have found out what's more important than the titles that we all have or think we have is, first of all, we're just regular human beings down here trying to do a job, trying to stay alive in spite of a lot of things that go on. And yet there's something else going on. And that something else going on is what we need to bring out. It's called creativity. And that's what I'm here to express. And I want you to follow your own path and your own creativity. That's how you can be happy. See you in the next clip. Hey, welcome back. So what I want to talk about in this clip is kind of what I mentioned earlier about how do you make it in life when you're going through such tragedy or sickness or even death? What in the world is going on and how can you be happy during that? Well, this is a little bit about my story and maybe it'll apply to you, maybe it won't, but at some time in life it may. So here's what happened to me. I was 14 years old and I had an older sister named Linda. She was 15, 1 year older than me. Beautiful, wonderful, spiritual, amazing person who I always looked up to and loved very much. Anyway, she came down with Hodgkin's disease, which is a form of cancer. Back in that day, they could not cure it, so it was just a matter of time. She lived with it for 4 years. But during that time, what really struck me, even to this day, is how she was so happy. How do you be happy being a young girl dying of cancer? Yet she did it. And how she did it was she had a very strong purpose. Like I was saying before in the earlier clip, that life has a purpose. No matter if it's a long life that we have down here or if it's a short life like she had. We all affect each other. And what she did, how she affected the doctors, the nurses, the parents, the children, my particular family, and me in particular. What did it do to me to see that going on? And to see her getting stronger, although her body was getting weaker. Her spirit, her mind, her essence was beautiful and strong and so creative. How did she do it? She did it because her purpose, her feeling inside, her awareness of why she came here and what she was to do, didn't matter how long or how short it is, because time is, time keeps on slipping for all of us. We have either a long one or a short one, like I said, doesn't matter. The point is, you make the most of what you do have. And she did that. And what that did for me was it changed my whole perspective. My whole life, I always look back. Even right now, I'm still talking about her. It was over 50 years ago. I'm still talking about her. Because it was such a wonderful impression that she gave not only to me, but to everyone in my family and to everyone around her who ever knew her. So, what does that mean for you? What that means for you is taking lessons in life that other people maybe have gone through. Maybe you haven't gone through something like this yourself, but maybe you will. At some point, we all lose somebody we love. Life is part of death. That's just the fact. Like it or not, it's the truth. So what did we do about it? So what I found out was, first of all, I was really angry. I have to admit, I was mad at God. Why, dear Lord, would you allow a beautiful, young, creative, happy person to suffer? And she did suffer. I saw it. It was not pretty to see someone in pain that you love. But she always had this amazing gift, or this amazing purpose, I call it, and that was to make others around her happy. That was her purpose. And she did it with such a light and so much love in her heart that it made me angry at God for taking her and allowing that to happen. but I realized that that wasn't my position to be mad at God about something that was my sister's purpose. It was what her destiny in this life was to be. So we don't always understand it. Life is complicated. But in spite of all the complications and all the woes and all the sadness and the tragedies and the sickness, there's a great light and there's a great purpose for all of us. So in finding that and in discovering that, I decided that, wow, what is my purpose? What am I supposed to be here to do? It took me a long time to figure it out. I want you to find it out earlier than I had to go through, if it's possible. No matter what stage we're in, it doesn't really matter. As I said, time is something that's very elusive. We have either a long time or a short time, but whatever the time is, it's our time. So if you're here and you're listening to this, it's your time. Your time to find out what makes you happy. What's your purpose? What is it that you came here to do? Are you affecting people around you in a positive way? Or maybe not so positive, but you're learning from that. We all learn. No judgment here. Everybody has a path. And whatever path you're on, it's your path and it's okay. All you have to do is stop for a moment, stop and think, I'm here, I'm alive, whatever's going on around me, it doesn't matter, because what I have going on inside of here is what's the most important. It really is. And you can make any situation, a more positive situation. By what? By thinking about what your purpose is, how you can be creative in that purpose, and how you can be happy in spite of whatever and make others happy. Sometimes the best way to be happy is to just be making other people happy. And by doing that, how do you do that? Well, you say to yourself, I am here for a reason. And no matter what's going on around me, no matter what other people think or what I think, doesn't really matter. Even what my own personal thinking is, because there is a higher calling for all of us. There is a higher calling. And in that higher calling, you're going to find what your purpose is and how you can be creative in developing that purpose. And that's what I'm here to help you to do. I want to see people happy. I want to be happy. I want the world to be happy, because, there's so many things that we can be down about. To be down and worries me. Okay, so let's just turn on that light and follow that path and open up your creativity. Get out of the freaking box. See you next clip. Okay, so in that little clip, I was doing my happy dance. We're talking about the body now. Why is it important to exercise? Well, it's very important to exercise. First of all, it's putting oxygen into your body. The oxygen goes into your lungs, it goes into your bloodstream, which helps everything start flowing. It gives you a happy feeling, because when you're exercising, maybe listening to happy music, whatever it is you're doing, swimming, biking, dancing, yoga, it's all good. So first thing I would say is really important, taking care of the body, is to get it moving. Do some form of exercise. Whatever it is that you like doing, just do it. Sometimes all I like doing is taking a walk. That's exercise too. So do the things that keep your body moving and keep the oxygen flowing. That's very important. Next thing, of course, is what we eat and what we drink. what we're putting into our body. We all know about nutrition, okay? We should take our vitamins, we should eat plenty of vegetables and fruit and proteins and seeds and nuts and all those good things. Very healthy for the body and to have a good balance. Some things we don't talk about too often is how do we eat? And what I mean by that is, are you eating on the run? Are you in such a hurry that you dash here and you dash there and you got your mouth full and you're trying to put it all in and eat as fast as you can because you got other places to go and other things to do? But eating is a very important part of our digestion. So if you're eating on the run or you're grabbing things just because it's convenient and you're in a hurry, may not be the right things to be grabbing and eating. But how you're eating it, are you chewing your food really, really well? Your digestion is important because no matter how healthy you're eating, if you're not digesting the good things that you're putting into your body, you're wasting your money, your time, and your energy. So when you're eating, it's very important to slow down. Don't have any distractions like watching television or having a big conversation with a bunch of people and you got your mouth full and you're trying to talk and everybody's, trying to talk while they're eating. And you can't really digest your food properly that way. So it's okay to have social times and be out with people, but you just have to learn to slow it down. Some cultures, people pray over their food before they even take their first bite. And why is that? Well, praying over your food, number one, slows you down, gives you a chance to smell the food. You see the food. That's part of digesting. It's what you're putting into your eyes and into your nose, and those senses help you when you take that first bite. So slowing down, letting your food digest is also major important. Have you ever been somewhere where you're in a hurry and you're just so hungry that you'll just grab whatever? Oh, that looks good. I'm just hungry. I'm going to take that big fat donut and eat it right now. Okay, well, that's because we let ourselves get too hungry. So what a good little trick is to take maybe a little bag of nuts or a piece of fruit and take it along with you if you're in a hurry and you're going somewhere. So you have something that you can put into your body that's healthy and you don't get so hungry in between those times of eating your meal. So that's a major part I want to talk about when it comes to nutrition, because nutrition starts with that first mouthful. Make sure you're chewing your food really, really well and digesting. See you later. So the next thing we're going to talk about in regards to our body is the immune system. Your immune system is what keeps you healthy. So why is that? Well, we are surrounded by germs and diseases all the time. It's in our food, it's in the air, it's in the water, it's in even the people we shake hands with. It's everywhere. So to stay healthy, your immune system fights off all those germs and all those diseases. But the one thing your immune system needs is to be de-stressed. We know that about 70% of all disease, dis-ease, not being at ease, comes from stress. So if we know that stress is so harmful to the body, it's going to be very important to de-stress. Sometimes that's easier said than done, I know. So what you can do in that case is like we talked about with exercise. That's really important. Get your body moving. It's shown to actually de-stress you. Exercise. It's giving you oxygen. It's making you, those little hormones are feeling happy when you're exercising and putting oxygen into your body. So exercise is important to distress. Eating healthy is important to distress because you don't want to have an upset stomach, trying to relax. So eating properly, like we talked about, is very important. And also the other thing that you can do to de-stress is to meditate. Now we've talked a lot about, you've heard, I'm sure, about meditation. There's a couple of kinds of meditation that we're going to focus on. The first one is just regular breathing and calming down the mind and relaxing to trying to think about nothing. But is that even possible? No, it's not, because your mind is electrical. It's always going to be thinking. Thoughts are going to come in, thoughts are going to go out. It's just the way our brain is. So to meditate and to not have all these distractions going on in your brain, take a deep breath and tell yourself, okay, I'll allow that thought to come in. It's not going to control me. I'm going to focus on just calming down and calming my breathing. By breathing and focusing on your breathing, it helps your mind to relax. So that's a form of meditation. Another form of meditation is called mindful meditation. So mindful meditation is when you're maybe listening to music, you could be watching a movie, you could be running, jogging, and a lot of things are going on in your mind, but you're being active, but you're consciously thinking about certain things that you want to think about. That's called mindful meditation. And it's meditating because it's keeping you focused on something that you want to think about. So there's those kinds of things that help us to de-stress. Very important, because we know that our immune system works much healthier and happier when we're stress-free. So the next important thing about the body is our sleep. Most adults need about 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night. Now, that's not always the case, because when we're babies, of course, we need a lot more sleep, sometimes 17 to 18 hours if we're little tiny infants. And then as we grow, we need a little bit less, and then a little bit less. And as we become adults, it's about 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night. But I will say that does change, because as people get older, sometimes their sleeping habits, because of their hormones, different things are changing all the time. You might need, your sleep is interrupted. So if that happens to you, don't stress over it. Just simply try to take naps during the day if you can. But do get back into a pattern where you can get at least 7 hours of sleep every night. That should be for all adults. So how do you do that? If you just wake up in the middle of the night, things are on your mind, you just can't get the rest that you need. And it's so important, because sleep is how your body repairs itself. If you're sick, you know that your body needs more rest. You just don't even feel like getting out of bed, and you're sleeping a lot. Why? Because that is when your body is actually healing and repairing itself. So we do know that sleep is just as important as eating proper nutrition and as exercising. So getting enough sleep every night is going to be very important to get your body and your immune system working healthy and properly. Now, as I was saying, if you can't do it, you wake up in the middle of the night and your mind is racing. You've got this on your mind and you're thinking and you're worrying or whatever's happening. It's keeping you from sleeping. So what they found out to do is to don't fret over it or stress over it, just makes everything worse. So maybe get up out of bed, go and do a little bit of breathing, relaxing your mind, turning off all of the lights, making sure that when you do get back into your bed that things are dark and quiet and that your mind is restful. Now, I know it's not always possible. I'm not saying it is. So if you have 1 or 2 sleepless nights where you just can't, the best thing that you can do is the next night, whenever that might be, hopefully the very next night, you'll get a better good night's sleep because that's when your body says, I gotta go to sleep. Okay? So try some little things like turning off all the lights, keeping the room dark and cool. They're saying that cool temperatures at night makes you sleep better. Try that. Also, you can maybe start reading a book in the middle of the night. And you'll get tired, your eyes will get tired, and you'll maybe yawn and say, maybe I'll try to go to sleep now. Little things like that can actually make a big difference. But do try to get your rest because remember, that is how your body repairs itself. Okay, get a good night's sleep. Now, the other thing about the body is hygiene. What is hygiene? Hygiene is keeping our body clean and healthy and making sure that we've done all of the things that we've been talking about, the exercise, the eating properly, the de-stressing. And the hygiene of the body is the physical. Did you know that our major organ, our number 1 organ, which is the largest organ of the body, is the skin? Okay, welcome back. Now in this section, we're going to be talking about the mind. Have you ever wondered where the word imagination comes from? Imagine a nation. It comes from our thinking. You know, before a chair was a chair, it was just a thought in someone's head. That's how amazing the mind and the brain really is. We can imagine all kinds of wonderful things. We can also imagine all kinds of horrible things. So, where is your thinking? That's the most important thing that I want to stress in this little clip, is your thinking is going to set the stage for the things that are going to happen in your life. Now, that doesn't always happen. It's not always 100% that whatever you're thinking you're going to make happen. Because if that was the case, we'd have a million zillion things going on and we'd never get anything done. There's too much changing all the time. So what you're thinking does have an effect. And if you're thinking about it time after time after time, it starts to make an impression in the neurons in your brain. And those patterns take hold, and that's what you bring into your life. So to bring good things into your life, start thinking about the positive things, all the good things that you do want to have materialize in your life. Remember the word imagination. If you can imagine it, you can do it. It's kind of like magic. It does happen. The next thing about the mind is the neurons in the brain. There's been a lot of study about that, and it's in neuroplasticity. And neuroplasticity is the study of what happens in the brain, especially after some kind of a tragic accident. And the cognitive behavior of that brain can change. And you can, when they say, oh, it's too late, there's nothing they can do because the person has brain damage, well, they're finding out that's not true. There are things that you can do and that are very helpful, and that is in the neuroplasticity. So what that is it actually gives you little games you can play, puzzles, following something with your eye, teaching your brain, closing one eye, closing the other eye, and looking at things in a different perspective. These are the neural pathways that are in everybody's brain. They're already there, and all you have to do, like I was talking about the imagination, how things are grooved in, if you think about it all the time, that becomes your reality, that becomes your habitual way of thinking, but you can change that. So that's the great thing about the neuroplasticity. So if you want to make a change, start thinking about what is it that you're thinking about all the time? What is it that you want to bring into your life? And how can you make those changes? So if you start with simple little puzzles, like I was saying, a puzzle, okay? Putting this piece together and knowing where this goes and that goes and organizing things. It's like organizing your thoughts. Putting things down, doing crossword puzzles, playing little games. Back in the day when you were just a little kid and you used to play hopscotch or jump rope or basketball, whatever it was, you were doing things in a repetition way that taught you how to play the game. So this is basically a game that we play with our own brain. So if you want things to develop in your life, start imagining the wonderful things that you can create. Now, the other thing about neuroplasticity is new experiences. We've also found that people, for instance, that take a trip and they go someplace totally different, maybe even where they speak another language. That's really wonderful for your experiences and your brain and your ability to grasp new ideas and new situations and new people, new languages, new food. All this newness is actually great for your mind and your development of your experiences in life. So embracing new experiences in your life is really, really healthy and great for your brain. You should always be trying to learn or do something new because we never stop learning. This is something we're going to do for the rest of our days while we're down here. So as many new things as you can bring into your life, new people, new situations, take trips, read a book, watch different movies that maybe you've not been watching before. Think about different things. Bring new things into your life and into your brain so you can think on new things, which actually bring those neural pathways into new experiences. that are joyful and helpful. Now, the fun part about the brain is, did you know there's actually laughter workshops? Have you ever heard of that? Well, I couldn't believe it, but it is true, and I can understand it because laughter is actually therapy. They have these workshops where everybody sits around in a room and they start out kind of serious and they're telling their stories and introducing themselves in this little forum. And all of a sudden, somebody will crack a joke and that'll make somebody smile. And then somebody on the other side of the room will smile because that person is smiling. And all of a sudden you hear a giggle from the other side. And so somebody's giggling, somebody's smiling, and all of a sudden you hear a laughter, and then another laughter, and another laughter, and another laughter. And everybody's laughing like this big hallelujah belly laugh. And they're feeling so overwhelmed and so joyful, they start crying and they're holding their sides and they're holding their stomach. And afterwards, they are, wow, feeling fantastic. And they say, man, that was a really great session. I feel so happy. I wonder why. Because laughter is medicine. We need to laugh more. We need to see the joy in things. Stop looking at things in the doom and the gloom. Of course, it's there. But, you know, like I said before, sometimes slapstick comedy is really important. For instance, let's say somebody's walking down the street and they slip on the pebble or something on the sidewalk. And they fall down and somebody over in the corner starts giggling and saying, that man fell down, but he looked so funny when he got back up, brushed himself off and acted like nothing ever happened. It made somebody laugh. Now, we're not laughing at people because we think they could be hurt, of course. But when somebody falls down, they get up and look around, act like nothing happened, shake themselves off and walk down the road like nothing ever happened. You got to admit, it's a little funny. So that is what we're talking about with slapstick comedy. We all fall into that. We all have incidences in our life that may be harmful, may be hurtful, but looking back in retrospect, we can see the humor in it. You know, maybe it wasn't funny at the time, but looking back, you can say, boy, was I silly. Did I ever act like an idiot? Oh, that's okay. As long as you can laugh at yourself and enjoy life in all the stages and all the things that we go through, because life is really meant to be happy. That's it. Just be happy. So in this section, we're going to be talking about our spiritual awareness. What is spirit? Is it like a ghost or something out there? Well, no, but it is something that we all have. And where does it come from? It comes from a deep-seated emotional level that we all have. For instance, you can't put your hands on love, but you know it's there. You can't put your hands on a lot of the things that are very elusive, but yet they're there, like God, like Creator. Where did that come from? I mean, is there such a place? Well, that's where spiritual awareness comes from. We all have something deep inside of us knows, and it goes way back to the very beginning of man, where man looked up to the stars and always knew there was something higher, something that was a creator. And that is what we all have as human beings. And because of that awareness and because of that spirituality, It brings us much peace, much joy, knowing that there really is a higher purpose and a higher reason that we're all here in the first place. So to get in touch with your spiritual essence, it's really good to go inside and have quiet time. Just ask the questions. Maybe you're not a believer and you're curious. That's where you can start. But for me, I really am a believer. I know there is a creator. I know there is a higher purpose and a higher calling for all of us. And maybe I know that because of the tragedies, like I said, very early on in this course. I talked about my sister. And it really brought me to a new awareness and a new awakening. And we're all going to have that in life, because that is our purpose for being here, to understand why we're here and to spread that joy and that love and that foundation of peace and knowing it's not that bad. No matter what we're going through, no matter what situations happen in life, we can get through it. And the reason we can get through it is because our spiritual essence, our creator, gave us an ability to rise above by asking our creator. I say him. Well, it's very elusive who our creator actually is. Is it a big person on a throne sitting up there? I just know it's real. It doesn't have to be something I can hold, like love. It can't, but it's there. So open up your heart, ask and you will receive, seek and you will find, knock and it will be opened. Those are the principles of understanding your spiritual essence. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this, and we'll see you in the next clip. Okay, welcome back. This section is all about humanity and the arts, and it all starts with your creativity. I'm going to start giving you some examples now, as this is the last section of this course. And I'm going to go around in my neighborhood and around to the people I know who are actually doing creative things in their life. And maybe it will inspire you. And I hope it does, because everybody should have that ability in them that says, I want to be creative, I want to have a purpose, I want to do something joyful in my life that makes other people joyful, not just me. That's where creativity blossoms, when you do it to actually be of service to help others. And we all have that, we all have it, and we all have that gift. So finding yours is going to be the key. And this section of the humanities and the arts is so much fun. now we're at the end of the course, and I hope that you have enjoyed watching all these creative people doing creative things. But you might say, well, that wasn't anything that creative. It was just normal, regular things. You know, what's so creative about making pancakes? Or what's so creative about riding a skateboard or playing basketball or painting little things? What's so creative? The reason I'm showing you all these regular things that people do is because that is what creativity is. It isn't anything so spectacular. You're not going to become a famous movie star or a famous artist or writer or whatever it is. That is not the important thing. What is important is being creative in everyday things that you do every day. And why is that important? Because creativity works hand in hand with our health. And the reason it does is because creativity and health is what gives us purpose and what keeps us happy. Even if it's a simple thing as making a bed. However you want to do it. Maybe you want to design the pillows in a special way. Maybe you want to throw the pillows on the floor. I don't care. It doesn't matter. The point is that to be creative and do things your way, because you are creative, uniquely and individually creative in all the things that you do every single day. So think about that. Think about what it is that you enjoy doing it with your whole heart, and be happy. That's what it's all about. I've enjoyed doing this course for you, and I hope you have learned a few things, and we learn from each other. So tell me anything that you would like me to share, anything more that you would like to know, and I'm here for you. Thank you. See ya.